Kyber Cave family. How are you this evening?
What's up?
Was
Yeah, I was waiting to was up till you got through your sentence. I didn't want to step on your
I think you're
intro, but then I
10
just kind
minutes
of went like this
early.
and just looked like an idiot sitting like this for a moment.
And
That's all
Mike
right.
Berger says we're 2 minutes early because he considers after 7:05 to be what is late.
Hey, you know what? We're in artist time here, man. You never know. It's all part of the. It's all
You
part of the
never
magic.
know. So good evening. How are you? I'm glad to see your names. Hello Sang Wong and Mike Berger. Hope you are doing well. George Decay honored. Oh my.
Oh my, dude! I love George Takei. Um,
Did you
yes,
have a great week?
life is. We were just in Davis last night at
Yes.
a festival, which was different for us. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of people in Davis didn't know about Kyber Cave, which is right up the road. So it's always good to
Now
meet
they
new people.
know.
Now
Now
they
they
know,
know.
and knowing's
More
half the
you
battle.
know. Yes.
How are you, Miss
More than
Mez?
meets the eye. I am fantabulous. Uh,
For those of you that don't know, Miss Mez has another Twitch channel as well. If you haven't had a
yes.
chance to check that out, make sure you are watching her over on that. Don't let me forget too, Mez. I wanted to talk to you about the. I think you said something about Amazon Prime. If you had Amazon Prime, you get like points that you can use or
So
something
if you
like that.
have Amazon Prime, it actually includes a free sub every month to a streamer of your choice. And it's still so the streamer will still get money, but you actually don't have to pay
Woohoo!
anything. So if you have Amazon Prime, like if you wanted to sub to me, sure you could do that. You could do it to any of the streamers. You
Remind
go
me
to
later.
my
We'll get you.
okay,
Remind me in a week because my
okay,
roommate that I use her Amazon Prime. She I guess has it and she doesn't know anything about it. She doesn't
okay.
give a damn about Twitch. So
Oh,
she's. I was like, well, at least let me give this to my friend.
thank you. So you just have to you attach your Amazon Prime. You just like sign in and attach it to your account. And what you can do is if you want to check out my Twitch page, whether you sub or not, it's regardless. What's the disregard that? Okay, whatever. If whether you sub to me or not, whatever. If you want to check out my channel, it's MetzoJD on Twitch. So twitch.tv/MetzoJD. I stream
That's right.
Tuesdays and Fridays right now, as long as I can get my stupid internet working.
So
Uh,
if you can't get enough of Mets over here on KCP, you got to check her out playing games on her channel as
if
well.
you
And that's a
actually
really
don't get enough
easy.
of me, I'm so shocked.
I just wanted to bring that up because that's a really easy way to support that a lot of people don't even know. I didn't even know was like a feature of Amazon. So if it's
Mm-hmm.
something you're not using anyways, might as well help our friend Mets out.
Yes, thank you. All my income from stuff right now is going towards buying myself a new microphone because I'd like to
Ooh.
also get back into singing and recording it, maybe even. So I want to get a really good mic, and I am a good portion of the way there. So I'm getting there.
What's
I'm
up,
getting
Scott?
there. Hi, Scott. How are
You are
you?
getting there. And
Well,
yes,
first,
George
George.
Takai was fantastic in Clone Wars.
Oh, I'm sure, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, you know what our first segment of the day is. It is the nerdy
Nerdy
news. What
news.
what is first on our nerdy news? You say, well, you know what? Star Wars: Young Jedi Adventures was honored with 5 Children's and Family Emmy nominations. That
Wow.
is so cool. I think it's so neat. It makes me want to go and watch it because I have not seen this program. And
It's
if
won
you
so
want to,
many awards, going to make a lot of people actually
I
check it.
know
Nobody's seen this program.
if you want to check out more info about it, I went ahead and posted a link in the comments, and it's also in the description as well, about the Emmy nominations and what they're for and such. So you can check that out there. Next on the nerdy news
Oh, I guess
is the
Mike has seen it
Echo.
and maybe say,
Oh,
sorry.
he said it's cute, cool.
Ooh,
And then next we have the Echo trailer came out. If you haven't seen it, we actually talked
yes.
about it during Saturday Morning Nerd Out yesterday, which is our nerdy news network kind of show. And we gave our kind of initial reaction towards it. It does look like a grittier, darker version. I mean, you've got Vincent D'Onofrio who's playing Kingpin, and he's absolutely amazing as Kingpin. And he brings like this. Gosh, it's hard to describe, but the intensity that he plays as Kingpin is like uh what's the word when it feels like it's in the room?
Yeah.
Um,
Palpable, tangible.
palpable, yes, palpable was what I was saying. You like you feel his intensity. Like it's really good, and the trailer is really well done. So I'm very excited actually for this show.
So
Um,
a little piece of note here. This is going to be Disney's first official MA rated show. So when
ooh,
you were talking about it looking grittier, and that's why, because it
it's
is
why,
going to be grittier.
yeah, and
Woohoo!
yeah, and if you guys haven't been turning in for Saturday Morning Nerd Outs, we actually do really cool game that Frey hosts, and right now we're doing a Loki one where you kind of give a theory and you earn points towards it and such. And so if you'd like to play that with us, you can. We actually do it from our Discord. I'll go ahead and post the Discord link really quick. If you want to hang with us off stream, you can do that there. But that is your nerdy news for today. Now,
Oh,
James Kaiser. Wait, okay, here you go.
There we go. That's the only way I know. It's like Pavlov's puppies or whatever. Like, that's how I know the segment's done. Otherwise, I'm just like, oh my God, is there more nerdy news? I haven't heard the music yet.
I do 2 articles per 2 news stories usually.
But I didn't hear the music.
Now you've heard it. And last week, as you saw from our extra nerdy news clip, as new rock stars Eric Voss and Tommy Bechtold chat about one of their favorite memories of 2023 coming to Northern California and being at Kyber Con 3.
Okay, can I just say, of like all the things that they have probably done in this last year to be one of their favorite memories of the year, that is just like, oh man, that makes me feel like
it was just fun. You warm and fuzzy. It was just straight fun. Like they just got to chat with people and hang out and meet fans, and then go have some great Olive Garden after. I know they said Mezzo treated them. It's not true. I
you did book the reservations.
I booked the reservations and I invited them to the convention, but Mr. Ark Extala here did the treating the entire party. So. All right, next we have James Kaiser. He is our producer for Flow the Show, and every week he sends us a flow. Now, I do apologize if I do not say this correctly because it is French. Okay. Les Lions de la Force. Like this is my very terrible version of it. I can sing in French. I can't speak French, but I can sing French. De la Force, but this is their flow, so please enjoy. Yeah, I can't say it.
Dude, this is why, like in movies, you always see like old people like
it's like
looking down their nose.
Okay, I'm done starting to say it, but just enjoy. Stop listening to us people try to say something in French and just enjoy the flow of the show. Thank you so much, James Kaiser, for that flow. Very much enjoyed it. That's a really cool, it was some choreography that they had made together.
I was gonna say, I was out of all of the in the history of the show since we've done this segment, that's the only one I would say is probably not flow in some way. It's more that would be more choreography to me. Although it was very beautiful choreography. And one thing I want to say is especially in that first fight, you can go back and rewatch or whatever. But when you watch a lot of saber fighting, when you see like organizations or clubs do choreography, I can speak the language, I promise. When they
Good
do
job.
choreography, one thing I absolutely I hate watching with all my might, is when they're just hitting blade to blade. It doesn't look like they're actually trying to attack each other's bodies. They're just trying to touch blades. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Does that make sense? When you're watching a really good saber fight, it should look like two people actually fighting with swords, and they're fighting for their lives, trying to get body blows in, not
Rather
just
than like taps.
right. Oh, I tap you with the top of your blade, and then let's hold it behind my back, and you tap me here. I'm gonna wait until you get there. You know what I mean? Like it should look like two people actually fighting for their lives. So I saw that more so in the first one. It's a little bit harder to do, especially when you're fighting with three people.
Yes.
There's a lot that goes on.
I haven't. So I did martial arts for several years, and I can't do it any longer. But I remember when I tested for my first degree black belt, I had to fight two men at once.
Oh,
and that's not choreography, that's sparring. And so that was and you don't wear any gear, so it was a lot. That was so much
hardcore.
fun. That
You
was
get-
so much fun.
Well, I will make
I
sure not
miss
to
it
get
so
you upset.
much. Well, it's not like I'll throw my good leg at you. Anyway, but thank you so Sam, thank you so much, James Kaiser, for bringing that flow of the show. Now we have our guest coming up. Would you like to introduce our guest, sir?
I will. Our guest tonight, Miss Loni May, is somebody that I have known for a very long time. And to be honest, we'll find out tonight during the interview, but I pretty much feel like as long as I remember Kyber Cave, I remember my Once Upon a Time productions. I can't remember if it's been, did I say it wrong?
I think it's my time, not a time.
Once Upon My Time. I'm sorry, I knew I'd mess that up.
That's why you have me here.
Exactly. You're the brains of the operation. All right. So I can't remember, but it feels like she's just kind of like always been around, and I don't remember if it's because she's been a cosplayer around this area for a long time. But if you are in the Solano County area, you probably have seen her or her crew around. They do so many cool events. They do a lot of charity things as well. So with no further ado, please give it up for Miss Loni May Moon.
And she did just let us know it's my Once Upon a Time. So it was like we both got it wrong.
My Once Upon a Time.
Loni.
I'm sorry.
I typed it even.
It'll be correct in the description.
Yes. Okay, please watch the intro.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. And the funny thing about the name of the company, I feel like has always been an issue of people getting the name right. And my name, too.
Do a lot of people stumble over that? Do I not have to feel so bad?
Yeah, no, everyone does. And everyone has a hard time with my own name, too. So I'm so used to it. It's fine.
I'm so sorry. I am destroying the
It's
right
okay. Arik here says my name wrong. Anyway.
I know it's supposed to have a T sound in it. It just doesn't. I know what it's supposed to sound like. All right. Getting back to you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hello, fellow nerds out there. I'm really excited to be here tonight. And yeah, the company name actually, I think Adam, my boyfriend, who also is the other business owner and main male performer, I think he's the one that actually came up with the name.
Okay.
We were in LA, living in LA before we moved back to Northern California, and he's the brains behind the operation. I couldn't do it without him. He's been great. I also have one of my best friends has been helping us out the last year, and it's been great having her too. I didn't realize how much I was missing, the backstage portion until I had help.
Right. Well, let's back up just a little bit. How long have you been a business?
Actually, December, I believe the 3rd will be 9 years old.
9 years. See, I knew it because Kyber Cave is 5. How long have you been in Solano County? Did you
No,
start in LA or did you
no,
start?
no. Well, technically, like we started the concept down there and then moved up here. And our first event we ever did was actually for Main Street in Fairfield. It was the tree lighting ceremony.
Right.
So our first gig ever was with them, and we've done that event every year now, except for when they didn't have the event,
For
due
COVID,
to the world
right.
changing. But yeah, it's been really great, and so every year, it's been fun. A new
So
adventure.
you've been in the Solano area for about 9 years.
Yeah, we've been here the whole time.
Okay, I knew it because like at the when I was doing your intro, I was saying I started Kyber Cave 5.5 years ago, and I was like, I just feel like you've always been there, but like we've never really talked directly. You've just kind of always been fluttering out there.
Exactly.
So what exactly is it that you do?
I don't even know. um, so it's funny. So we started out. I was kind of like wanting to go like. I was envisioning doing more like anime style characters. Like me and Adam were really into cosplay. He was into acting. I was into like backstage, like hair and makeup and all that type of
Right.
stuff. But
Is that how you guys met? Was through your acting gigs? Or?
No, but it's funny because it kind of revolves around costumes too. We met at our good mutual friend's Mardi Gras party, actually. So we were a little dressed up that night as well.
Nice.
But we're definitely characters. So we've been characters since we started dating for sure. And me and Adam will actually have been together the end of this month, 10 years. So
woohoo!
Just a little over the amount longer, a little bit longer than the company has been born. So we had our baby
cool.
like a year in.
Right. But it's cool that you guys have learned because especially during COVID, when I was doing interviews with people, I met a lot of like smaller cosplayers who would just make costumes for themselves, and then people would see them and be like, "Oh my God, can I commission you to make something for me?" And then by the end of COVID, they didn't go back to a normal job. Like that became their business, and it's cool to me when people can take their passion and figure out how they can make a living from it. How they can do a job that they absolutely love.
Yeah, as you probably know, it's not easy. And during the pandemic, instead of doing like in-person events, we do all kinds of special events. It could be a grand opening, or it could be a birthday party, a holiday party. There's just so many things that people celebrate and they invite characters into. We work with some great artists too. That's where my background is. So definitely incorporated that as well. But during the pandemic, everything had to go virtual. Right. So it's so funny. We got so used to doing this that it felt so comfortable after a while, because you're like, I'm just working from my own home all the time. I'm not having to travel all over the place.
Right. You do quick costume change.
That was kind of nice. I mean, like we couldn't have kept going that way. There was more competition at that time. There were a lot of people that were just doing these things for free. And yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, I think in the beginning, I did more of like creating our characters myself, me and Adam too. But you've been in business so long, and you start getting like, you're like a costume snob, and you like want the best of the best. And, my skill level's only so much when it comes to sewing and stuff. So typically I just commission things now from other people. It could be like our talent. We have a lot of talent that make their own stuff. So I've commissioned from them, or people on Etsy or whatever small business. So we get our stuff from all over the place now.
Well, you guys are in a very unique position, I think, because when I first found out about you, I wasn't sure if you were a business or if you were like a cosplay group, or because I'd see you putting out like, oh, I need this type of person every once in a while for an event coming up.
Yeah.
So, but I've seen you at like movie premieres. I've seen you at, I want to say like story time, reading children's story times. You guys just seem to be everywhere. You're in so many different types of events.
Yeah, it's really fun. And yeah, we do so many different types of things too. And depending on the character, like we always try to gear everything we do around the character to make it a little more realistic for all ages. Because like if we
Right.
can allow the adults too, that you're winning.
Right. Right.
Because I want them to have fun too. It's like we're all, we're all these young souls that all find so much enjoyment in this. So we want the adults to really enjoy themselves too when they're open to it.
Right. Now, you guys, do you guys work any 9 to 5s, or is this your sole business? Is this what?
I used to. Adam he's a teacher. He's a special needs English teacher.
Oh, very cool.
And he also has a part-time job at where he graduated with his teaching credentials. So he also teaches adults to teach special needs.
Oh, wow.
So he's been doing that for a while. I used to be an aide in the school district before the pandemic. So whenever I was slow or I just needed extra income or I just wanted to do something outside the house, I would go help out and sub with the special needs kids in in the Benicia school district. So that's what I was doing last. Before that was makeup. But yeah, this has been my sole since everything kind of reopened and everything started getting busy again. It's been the only thing that I've been doing.
Excellent. Because I was going to ask because for a lot of people, especially, people that have certain skills or talents and, they dream about starting their own business, but they're scared to make that leap because they've only ever known a 9 to 5, right? That's what they were raised on and that's what they were told to go do. So it can be scary for a lot of people. How did you know when you were ready to make the leap to, okay, this is how I'm going to, help support the family, or this is what I'm going to do?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. So I've never really had a 9 to 5. I worked in cosmetics for a really long time. So even though I was working a lot of retail cosmetics, we never had 9 to 5 schedules. And like full time for us would be like 30 or 35 hours max. Like I never even had like a real full-time job. Really. It was really interesting. And the same with the school district with paraeducators. It's like the same amount of hours. It's like we never really had full-time.
Right.
But I knew when I was working, like at one point I was working like full-time in this like very kind of like high needs job. I was doing a little bit of everything. And I had a makeup job on the side I do like once a week and was running the business like fully by myself, like the business portion, not like doing all the events. But at that point I was such a workaholic and I like didn't have any life. And it really just kind of started realizing that I had like a problem. Like, stop working myself to death because like even though I'm really enjoying everything I'm doing, like this is not okay. Like I need to slow down because like I'm really feeling it. So just kind of going to not doing the makeup anymore and then doing just the school gigs when I could kind of like, the pandemic put that stop on everything for me. So I kind of didn't have the choice. And because all the industries that I had experience in, none of them existed at that time, I actually started going to school to be a health coach just to have something on the back end because I was like, well, what if this never picks up again and I need to do something else?
Right.
So, but that never really fully took off because right when that was like kind of coming into fruition, the business just exploded and I'm like, I have no time for anything else. Like,
Right.
like,
Well, when we came out of the pandemic, people were so tired of being closed off that they were like hungry for doing all the things that they would have normally done, including having like, little kids' birthday parties and corporate events and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And so, so the universe kind of decided it for me. I didn't really decide this time around. It was like, it kind of happened. So, but I really do think if anyone's going to start anything like this, you have to start it on the side. I don't think just jumping into it full time, like right away is the best idea, especially, we work in, performance arts and cosplay related situations,
Right.
so there's a lot of investing if you want good stuff. And so it's not a cheap industry to be in.
I was going to ask you, how many costumes do you own?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can show you guys around the costume room. I'm in it right now. If you
Yeah.
folks would want to see that.
Of course.
It's a pretty cool space. So we actually moved to this home so we had more space for the costume. So I had a little backdrop area set up right here. I'm doing this on my laptop, so this might not be the best, but I'll do it when I can. So we have like an area where we have like some accessories over here for events. There's some story time books and stuff. Here's our little sabers we use, foam sabers for the kids.
Right.
There's some the fairy wing wall.
Wow, look at all the wigs.
Yeah, and then the wigs. I was gonna say we have some accessories up there on the wall. But yeah, here's the majority.
Wow.
The styled ones, at least.
Wow.
I guess some faces, but some of them don't have faces yet, so they have to earn them. No, I'm just kidding. We have like the wig station here. We have the makeup station over here.
Wow.
And then here's the male costumes we have, because some of our talent, they're cosplayers too. They'll put together their own stuff.
Wow. How many costumes would you say? Those are just the male costumes, correct?
This is the male. These are the female characters now. So we have like 2 big racks of them. But then we also have a lot in like these bins too. So some of them are just in these bins, but there's like accessories in those too. So that's a good question. I feel like at our location, I mean, we have to at least have 50, and that's just like an idea. But I think there's probably definitely way more than that. I just don't. I'm not very good at numbers, so.
Do you go like November 1st, November 2nd, and like clear out whatever's left at Spirit Store for like 70%?
Yeah, I'm just using Spirit Store stuff now. No, we have. I usually buy. Well, okay, so we started out, like I said, we were kind of more throwing together our own stuff, kind of putting it together ourselves. But then over the years, we wanted to have high-end quality stuff. So now I'm really mostly just buying from commissioners, like the really like high quality ones.
Wow.
Get some really good, the good quality fabrics and wigs and stuff, and they cost a lot. But
right, I was gonna say good quality costs good money.
They do, and they hold up so well though, and then they can fit a range of people. The only thing we have to be careful with is you never want to get something you can't just like hand wash or take care of, like that you have to like dry clean, because I'm like, I can't afford to dry clean this stuff.
Right. So is it all those costumes that you have, is it for primarily you and your husband, or like
do you
have people that work for you that like, I need a Spider-Man this weekend over at this birthday party, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, they use our stuff too, so it is like adjustable. We have a few different Spidey suits, and then everything else is usually just made adjustable so it can fit a really large majority of people. Wow. And then some of our talent, like I said, they'll put together their own stuff, or maybe they already had it because they do cosplay and they love costuming and they get excited and they want to kind of put together their own looks and stuff. But it has to be up to a certain quality level, or else like we can't really use it, because we're kind of on the higher end side now. So
right.
Yeah.
People, and I, obviously I don't know what and this is a good time you can tell people, what kind of services you do. Like if you do like corporate events, or I mean, I'm sure you do birthday parties and private parties and things like that.
Yeah. So anything from like, not very often anymore, but I did a videogram today. So like videogram messages, and those could be for any occasion, like as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the virtual visits, which could be for any event, just like an in-person visit. But right now, because we're in the holiday season, we're doing a lot of like events at churches. It could be just for face painting. It could be to have characters that are just to mingle with the guests and take photos, interact in character. We do a lot of events with like larger companies, and they just have us like roaming around. Or like one of the cool requests we did last year, we're doing again, is like having some ice skating characters.
Right.
Just for some ambiance. I think that's really fun. So yeah, corporate parties, even just private holiday family parties, birthdays, of course, baptisms, weddings, grand openings. Yeah, movie theater appearances, which are some of the most fun, I think.
Right.
Schools. We work with schools and churches. And that could look a variety of ways as well. So
what is the craziest gig you have ever had to do?
Crazy in like a good way, a bad way, or what kind of crazy were you talking?
Well, yeah, hopefully, no violence or shootings or anything like that. But I mean, like, what was one that you were just like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I am here?
Oh wow, let me see. That's a good one. I mean, we got to partner up and work with like Google and Facebook. And so those were really cool. But that was like a while back. Oh, you know what? We worked with a really large tech company out of Santa Rosa. To be honest, I don't remember their name. But that felt really good just because it's like such a huge company and they were so nice. And we did a performance in person the first time where we had a bunch of characters and they go into separate rooms, do storytelling, sing-alongs, different types of like shows, little mini shows.
Right.
And then we all get together on one big stage and do like a singing performance, like a big sing-along with a group. So
wow.
that was really fun. And just working at their place of business was just really cool because it was huge and it was great. And then after that, we did it virtually. So we did it in different like breakout rooms and stuff. So that was like really interesting too, to have
right.
different rooms with the different little acts going on.
So when somebody calls you, do you like, are there things that you like have to turn away, or do you like, I remember when I was a spoken word poet, when I used to do a lot of stage work. And if somebody asked me if I did something, I never said no. I said yes, and then figured it out as I went along. Yeah. I mean, do you guys do that yourselves? Like, do you get thrown events or things that you're like, oh man, I'm going to need like 10 extra people and I'm going to need a whole bunch of, Hogwarts costumes or.
Yeah, I mean, I don't grab everything I had used to. If I think something's going to be too stressful or just not like the vision I want for the company, like it doesn't like bode well with like how we do things,
right?
I'll turn it down. But yeah, I used to not have a easy time doing that at all. I just like take it all on. I'm like, I don't want to be that character. I don't want to make that character. I don't want to do it. And then like a second later, I just be in love with it. I'm like, we're doing it. I don't know. It's like something like you almost like you thought you talk yourself out of it and you somehow talk yourself in when you're talking yourself out of it. I don't know. It was really interesting. I think it is because like you don't want to let people down.
Right.
You could come up with some interesting things. Like we came up with a fairy kitty character.
Right.
Due to like this story, Gabby's Dollhouse. And they wanted something like theme. And I just love the idea of a fairy kitty because I'm like, well, that's me. So like that's the character. Very original. One of our performers put it together and it turned out really cute. But I mean, I wasn't expecting to do anything like that. And it just kind of happened. And like, we just did it. So,
right.
Yeah, but as far as like casting, like also like for big things. Yeah. Sometimes I have to like start reaching out on my own personal platforms to find people because, we need a lot more.
I need stormtroopers.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna like house a lot of stormtrooper outfits or like those really big things like Iron Man or the mascot costumes. It's like I don't want that in my space. It's not really for me anyway. So like if I'm gonna work with that, I'm gonna have to find it out, like outsource it somewhere usually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you exclusively the costuming, or what if I called you and said, okay, I've got some money and I want it to like look like Hogwarts, I don't know, dining room or whatever. I want bubbling cauldrons and decorations and lighting. Would you guys do that too, or is it pretty much just the characters?
Just the entertainment portion for us, because that's like a whole party planning. Like that's a whole thing. You have to be like a party planner to do that, or event coordinator. I would probably love doing that type of thing myself, but I don't have time for that portion. So I would just like refer them to somebody else, that I know in the industry that does really good work.
Right. Well, I'm absolutely blown away because like looking at the number of costumes that you have, it's, some businesses you have a small startup fee and then you can just get going, right? Like if I have a lawnmower service business, I buy the lawnmower, I buy the trimmers, and then I just get going. But it just seems like you have to constantly keep reinvesting. Is it
Yeah.
difficult with like do you always feel like you have to have, oh, I've got to have Ant-Man? Well, I know you said you didn't have Iron Man in the like, but
Oh, actually,
maybe with the
my friend has him. He put together his own, so like we have him out there, kind of.
right.
We just don't own him ourselves. I mean, that's like that costume itself is like thousands upon thousands of dollars to do it right.
Right.
So.
But is there any pressure on you to stay on top of like the most current trend? Like if Moana 2 comes out, now you've got to come out with, your Moana costumes and all your characters for that. Or do you stick to like certain classic genres?
I honestly, like, the classics are usually what make the money, but those most popular things that everyone wants. But then for me, it's like I actually prefer the kind of off characters, the ones that aren't overly popular. So I usually get more excited as an artist to bring them in, like Anna versus Elsa. Like Anna has my heart, where Elsa, it's like, I could never be her again and be fine with that.
Right.
It's like the ones that don't get the love are the ones that I really, really love to do. So like if I got to be like Star versus the Forces of Evil for an event and got picked,
Nice.
that'd be awesome. But so far I've only gotten to do her for cosplay. So yeah, it is like you do feel pressure to stay on the trends. And normally we would be like ahead of everybody, because the second I'd see something coming out, like I'm just like I'm on it,
Right.
And unfortunately what ended up happening with like some of them is like you don't really have the best quality stuff come out right away. So if you don't wait, you got like kind of some crappy, like something that's going to fall apart.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, you invested, you did it smart, but then at the same time you kind of like have to redo it.
Right.
So when you redo it, is sometimes what ends up happening is you spend all the money doing it perfectly, and then now it's not so popular, and then it's going to take a
Right.
while to like pay that off your debt now.
So is that something that you have to like think about in the bill, or like even with the customer? I mean, okay, if I came to you and said I want to do a Spider-Man party, obviously you have a bunch of Spider-Man costumes ready. But if I came to you and said I want something like, truly unique, that you would obviously, it's not something you have on your shelf. You're going to have to create it.
Oh yeah.
Is that something that you just kind of take on as part of your business, or does that get built into kind of the budget of the party? Or
Yeah, I mean, we call that like a custom request, and there would be like a fee to go in it depending on what it is. Because if I'm like, well, that might not ever book again, like I don't really have motivation to do it.
right.
But if I think like, oh, it might be able to get out, it's something that sounds fun, and I think it might get out, I would charge a fee still, because it's going to cost me, hundreds of dollars to put it together in time, and then you have to research it. You have to research and practice it, and not only you do, but anyone else that's going to play that role. So you're bringing in something new, and you want to make sure your team's on the same page as you as well. Otherwise, you're the only one that can do it, like Miraculous Ladybug. No one else is watching all the Miraculous Ladybug episodes. And so, like if that character request comes along, it's like, oh, that's going to be me.
Right.
Knows that character like I do.
Right. Do you, when you get phone calls for different events, are you thinking of it primarily like, okay, it's going to be me and my fiance, and then I'm going to have to hire out 2 more people? Or
I always hire everybody to do gigs before me, because I have to do all the other like jobs too, and kind of make sure everything's.
You're the producer.
Smooth. Yeah. I mean, I have to make sure everything's going smooth. Also, I'm the type of person that's like, I like to be on standby in case someone has an emergency, or there's like a last minute event, and there's always a last minute event. There's always a last minute booker. So it's like, if I'm not on standby, a lot of people won't be filling in for someone that had an emergency or like a last minute client, because they have lives, other than this. So they're usually like already booked with something else.
I know that you were saying that it's gotten more busy since COVID, obviously, when people are allowed to get back together again. But
Yeah.
are you, and if you're not comfortable answering this, feel free to be like, I don't want to talk about that, whatever. But are you, is what you do easy? Like, are so many people calling you that you're like beating people off with a stick and telling them to go away? Or do you find that you're constantly hunting down things to do?
It's funny. It comes in waves, like always. So like it'll all just come flowing in at once. And you're like, why does everyone right at this moment want something? And then it'll be crickets for like, a few days. So it's interesting. It just comes in waves. I don't think it's ever been like, I don't think this year I had that problem because I had a lot of support this year. I think I might have felt like that last year, like the times I didn't have it, where I got overwhelmed, and it might have been the year before too. Now I can't remember. No, it was just last year. At one point, I couldn't handle anything. I had to just
Especially when you're doing like 3 different jobs.
I had to turn everyone away. No, I haven't done that since the pandemic. So
Oh,
I haven't. That was before before the time.
Right.
It's been a while since I've done it. I actually no, I did pick up a makeup job, you're a part-time makeup job, but then at the time, like I didn't have a school job, and that was not last year, but the year before. When that have been? I have a hard time remembering now between the last few years. It all just like kind of blurred together now. But yeah.
Do you have a favorite character?
It's
Like one that just when somebody calls and say they want this type of party, it just makes you giddy knowing that you're gonna get to go do it.
I mean, I'm not usually the one that gets to go do them anymore.
Oh, that's right.
It's not smart, but I do get happy when people request fairies, original characters, and then those like off ones like a Harley Quinn or like a Deadpool or something just really cool and fun.
Right.
Make me happy just because I think I like to stay interested and amused by what I'm doing. So if I'm just getting a bunch of like the same request, I'm just like,
right.
drawing the same picture over and over again. You're just like, there's not a lot of excitement there.
Right. When you do an entire year of like Black Panther parties, like you're like, okay, I'd like to do a different type of party now.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, if I could be like, I like to chameleon, so I like to be all the different personalities. I'm like, I have all the different characters. It's really just fun.
Right.
Be able to morph into different things or be something you're not, but it's a nice outlet for you. So.
Right. Do you have any concern about, and this may be something that you haven't thought about, maybe it doesn't really affect how you do your business, but when you hear about things like I hear a lot of people talk about superhero burnout, why Marvel, might not be doing as well, or why Star Wars might not be doing as well. When these fantasy things don't do as well in the box office, does that affect your business?
It does actually. So like the later of the second Wonder Woman movie, it's so funny. And Wonder Woman is so popular, and then the second movie comes out, and it's just like nobody wants Wonder Woman still.
Right.
And she was already like kind of slowly went kind of away, and then you think that they're going to come back, like the new Marvels movie come back, so it's like, oh, maybe Captain Marvel will get some more love.
Right.
Or it could totally tank and no one wants to see her. It could be the total opposite. But no, it's so true. It really makes a difference, a huge difference.
I know with us, strangely, with the lightsaber industry, before Disney bought Lucas, it was very much kind of an underground backyard kind of a thing. But then when Disney, when they add their own Galaxy's Edge and their own lightsabers, that's when our industry came out of the underground and kind of like, oh, now it's cool to be a nerd.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that all helps a lot, too, for sure. I think that all the Star Wars bookings, when they took it over, it was a huge difference from what it was before.
Do you feel like your business, do you think 20 years from now you could still be doing the same thing, or do you think you have to evolve and change with the times of maybe the types of parties that you're doing? Like if people are burned out over the Marvel movies and the DC movies, maybe Lord of the Rings becomes the new hot thing that everybody wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Will you become an orc?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I like, as long as it's part of like nerdum, I think it's good. But I don't know if I don't think I'll want to do this in 20 years, to be honest with you. The entertainment industry is actually kind of a lot. It's like, it's a lot of pressure. And I think that I would be done before then, unless we were just doing like the larger events, the bigger events. So yeah, I don't think, definitely, because I would be like 60. I like the second that I can't like portray a character anymore, like get away with it, because the youth genes help to be able to keep doing it. Obviously,
Right.
I thought at 40, like I just turned 40, and I thought I wouldn't do things after 40, but I'm like, oh, I could still keep doing them. So I thought at that time maybe it might be time to stop, because that was like the true passion. The reason why I started was actually being able to do the characters myself. And just like any job, you start moving up the ladder, and then you don't get to do what you really love.
Right.
Because you're just not business smart. You have to be business smart because you're an adult, I mean, I dress up, for part of my living, but I have to mostly be an adult. Behind the scenes, making the magic behind the scenes. Not on the stage, but
well, yeah, and I was gonna say, could you see some of this evolving to maybe acting, or maybe movies, or anything like that? I mean, really, essentially, what you are doing is acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's improv acting for the most part. And you mean like myself being in movies?
Sure, why not?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not against it, but I never really thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, like I was always into more of the backstage than I was being on camera.
Right.
But I just really love cosplay, and I love characters. So, I mean, I think I would really enjoy it. I just never really kind of thought that to go the acting path after this.
Right.
I know what that looks like, because a lot of my friends are into acting and stand up and various forms of art, and I don't know if it's what I'd want.
Right. A lot of times it's those extroverted personalities kind of get drawn to several things that are similar in the same kind of vein, or what have you.
Yeah, no, totally. And I started out very, very like quiet, and not like, I wouldn't have been on a camera. I wouldn't even like my photo taken. You think someone that didn't like their photo taken, didn't really like people, like would be in an industry like this, but here I am.
Right. But believe me, I understand. Whenever I do webcast shows, and I am not one to, like, you can barely find photographs of me, but we do webcast shows every week.
It's like you just put on your hood, like that you have a good size hood, and you just can hide in it.
Yeah.
Your face.
I love it. That's why all the Darths are like that. They hide their eyes. So what do you see? You were saying you don't want to do this for 20 more years, but what do you see? Do you have any changes or growth or things happening within the next few years that you guys are planning?
Oh man, you know what? I think me and Adam really want to like move out of this area and kind of start something new somewhere else.
Right.
But it hasn't happened yet, and so we've just been looking at so many places. And we're planning a trip to Costa Rica next year, and he's just been really interested in looking into like more of like the retired style of life, just to kind of like start dreaming of that, and
Right.
I'm just like, I don't know how I'm ever going to retire, to be honest. I've never really had like a normal job to where
Yes.
I just don't see it happening for me, but and also I'd like to stay busy, and I like to make a difference. And
Right.
so I don't know. It's so interesting, like, because it's like I don't really do anything but this, but I just don't know that I see myself doing this 20 years from now.
Right.
When
I'm interested to see what this is going to evolve to.
Yeah, I mean, like we're almost at 9 years. I don't really want it to die. Like I was hoping someone would carry out the legacy of my Once Upon a Time, so it could keep going, because I think what we created, it brings a lot of hope and joy and positivity and fun into the lives of people.
Right.
And
Well, that's what I was thinking when you were talking about, your youth being able to sustain the characters that you can do. I was thinking about, well, what about like an agency? Like, obviously, you have the knowledge on how to book and things like that. If you had a few, full-time actors beneath you, you can concentrate on getting the gigs and just sending other people to do that. I can't wait till I get to the place where I don't have to go to conventions to sling lightsabers anymore. I can send other people to go sell lightsabers, and I can just say, you go there and be there at 7 a.m.
yeah. Yeah, no, seriously though, because like I would do all those things that you'd be doing because I'm like, oh, if it's something that I have to pay out of pocket for, like myself, like, well, I might as well do it myself then.
Right, right.
If I can. But obviously you can't be everywhere, and there's times you just don't feel like it. You just don't want to be around like a huge group of people, or there's something else you need to do. So I have some really nice, good team members that like kind of treat this like it's their own too. So we even sometimes they like volunteer and help out and stuff. So that's really nice because we'll have booths set up places like you guys do.
Right.
We had some at like some harvest festivals. We had some booths there. We've done like the pop-ups with the booths or like the farmers. Actually, we didn't do the booths at the farmers markets. We just had our characters there, but that was just something we're doing for the community. So sometimes, we just do the community like little pop-up stuff, but we're not like actually selling anything.
Right.
Well, I guess we're selling a brand, but we're not like physically selling things.
Right. You're letting people know you're there, and you're just there to entertain the people.
Yeah, we just hope they have like a little bit of fun with us, take some pictures, and then maybe remember us when they have a special event that we could be of service. So that's kind of like what we're doing when we do those types of events, like or cons, like even we're just like representing our company at a con. It's just to bring a little something to it, help the community and help the brand, and the having that. I really like to have the community amongst like all of us that do this. I like to have a good community.
I was going to ask you because I have one other friend that I know of who she does birthday parties and she's a Disney princess for birthday parties and things like that. Is this a very competitive business? Are there a lot of companies in the Bay Area that do birthday parties and characters and things like that?
I feel like now, like this year, more than I've ever probably, or maybe it was last year. I mean, I feel like it's more than it used to be. Because it wasn't a thing for a really long time. Like this was not existing for it
Right.
hasn't existed for very long, like in the big scheme of things. So, but yeah, the cool thing is like I've reached out and I've made friends with like the other companies that I feel I would like feel comfortable referring someone to. Like, oh, I can see that they really like have good quality and they kind of have the same look, or they have the same things are important to them. So I've kind of created a little community amongst us in this industry because I really think it's very small. And I mean it's very small, but it's much bigger than it used to be, but it's still very small and it's very particular. So it's like everybody really knows each other, or like we're all connected in some way. And yeah, so it's like I do have a little group, and it's like a little support group because sometimes you need support from other people outside of your own like little business, and
Right.
yeah.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I'm excited to hear about all that you do. Yeah, I was wondering because like I said, I've seen you guys at like movie premieres and things but I also knew that you were a business, so it was very difficult for me to put in my brain. You guys are just all over the place.
We're more cosplay based than most companies because we're cosplayers. So it's like we have that like where very extensive like information about like these characters and stuff, and like that we've fallen in love with. It's not just like acting where you're like, oh, I gotta learn this role real quick. It's like, well, I love this character, like this is like gonna be so fun. So it's like kind of a cosplay character company because also coming up with like the more interesting things, like having Wednesday Addams as a character, like having her maybe before anyone else did. What other
Right.
interesting ones do we have? Like, I was talking about like miraculous ladybug characters. Those are really hard to find. Ones that would just be cosplay, like people usually would only like not like the general public wouldn't know of.
Right. You'd
I
see
was
him
like,
at the
looking up
animes
stuff to
cons.
see like what that would be. But I mean, even Batgirl, like Bat, a lot of people don't even have Batgirl. Like,
Right.
and in the nerd community, she's like super popular and very like an obvious character choice. Even though
Right.
she's not,
Right.
like, you know, like Spider Gwen used to be like no one knew who Spider Gwen was in the general public. Now she's like super popular and everyone loves
Yes.
her. But it's like back in the day, it's like no one knew who she was, and now she's like a big thing, a big deal. Same with Miles Morales, obviously, and like I just wish Loki would get some love, especially with like season 2 of Loki. I love Loki, and like we've gotten like I think like two bookings for Loki ever.
Oh,
And he,
I have a personal connection. I personally know the guy that's playing X5, Raphael Casal.
oh
Um,
really?
he
Nice.
used to be a spoken word poet. We used to be on the same scenes
Oh, that's
together.
such a small world.
Wonderful. So, okay, we're actually past time, man.
Uh-oh.
I apologize. 40 minutes goes like that. Boom. Is there anything you want to leave people with? We are going to have your product, your information down below to any website, any Instagram, or any links that you've sent to Mezzo already. See, I do know there's a T in there. Anything that you've sent to Mezzo already, we're going to have down below. But is there anything you want to leave people with?
Oh man. You know, it's just been an interesting like few years for everyone, and we just gotta like hang in there, have hope, have joy, have fun, stop taking everything so serious.
Right.
As
We
a
could be at end
society,
times right now. You might as well party it out.
yeah, you know, have fun. Don't take things too serious. Like these are all things that I learned to like kind of keep myself happy, positive, and having fun. And there are a lot of things that are outside of your control, and so you just gotta let it go, like Elsa says. Let it go.
You know, the one thing I will say that I have learned that is very cool. When I started Kyber Cave, we started as a lightsaber store, but obviously with what we do, I quickly got involved with the cosplay community. And the one thing that I will say that I feel is cool about this time period that we're living in is, people couldn't have been so free to express themselves 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You go to some of these cons and you see the amount of work that people put into their costumes and the love and the passion that they have for, this transformative thing. And I feel like we're living in an amazing time.
Yeah, like just you get to say what's on your mind, and people, I mean, they understand it, and they can, you know, either, I mean, they can agree with you or not, but I think it's nice to be able to say what's on your mind and not hide anything and not have to just like be awkward in the corner and you're like, I don't fit in with anyone. I'm such a weirdo.
Right.
It's like when we're all just weird and out there together, it's like a big family of weirdos. It's great.
And that's what we are at Kyber Cave. I often call us the island of misfit toys.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna leave you with this. I had this. I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave the audience with this. But when we had our shop downtown, and I don't want to give this person's name away, but there is a person that used to come in a particular character's costume. Like he would come like every Saturday. And I will tell you, the costume was not Star Wars related. So the fact that he was hanging out at, Kyber Cave was, but I remember asking him one time, like, why is it that you love cosplay so much? Why do you come in here every weekend in your costume? And he had told me that when he's in his school, when he goes to high school, sometimes he gets bullied and picked on, and he feels like kind of small and hidden. But he says when he puts this costume on, he feels like himself. Like he can finally feel free to just goof around and, take pictures with people and, act carefree and not feel so reserved, I guess. So there is a power to cosplay.
There really is. And as someone that also had been bullied before, like I feel it.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing. These are very healing costumes. They're great.
Well, thank you for all the healing you do in the community, Loni. It has been so much fun to talk to you tonight. And I know that probably in the next week or two, I'm going to bounce into you somewhere in Northern California. So I will see you very soon. But I do want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with us
Thanks
tonight.
for having me. Have a great night, everyone.
Take care, Loni. All right, with Benzo.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. Yes. Woo.
Makes me want to have a party now, just to like hire her.
You want a princess?
I want a princess party. A Princess Peach, damn it.
You just said a bad word on our family-friendly show.
Is that really in the society that we live in nowadays? All the crazy things
my
they say
kids
on
don't
TV.
say it. Just say it. Just my kids don't say it. They do. She just let us know in private chat they do have Princess Peach, so they could send Princess Peach to you. Yeah. Thank you, Loni, so much for coming on. I really enjoyed the interview. Gosh, that's such a neat idea. Think about, like someone who gets bullied, and that's like a really good outlet for them. And when I was in high school, junior high, and got bullied, cosplay like wasn't really a thing.
Nope.
It wasn't a mainstream thing. Mine was like poetry and music. But man, just to think about the idea of like being able to have cosplay would have been so cool.
Right. It was, you know what? It was honestly one of like the most profound discussions I've ever had with a customer at my store, because I couldn't, I was like, dude, I know some cosplayers, I know many cosplayers who will spend over $1,000 making, say, a stormtrooper costume, and you're not allowed to make money with it. Like by George, if they want to be part of the 501st or whatever, you're not allowed to, sell your service. So I've often wondered, like, there's got to be something more to this that really draws people, because people that love cosplay.
Yeah, there's so many different reasons that people get into it, just to have a creative outlet. My favorite part is when I see the pictures of like the princesses hugging the girls. The girls have this magical feeling of meeting their favorite princess,
Right.
It's that taste of their favorite princess at home or wherever their party is at and stuff. And seeing them hug makes me so happy inside.
Right. I always fall for like the little kids at like Galaxy Edge, the little TikTok videos you see, or even like sometimes you'll see older special needs people who really love certain characters or what have you. So me having a background working with special needs students, those always get me.
Yeah. Aw. All right. Well, our next segment is Kevin Hogan, who has been in the chat this evening. His Comic-Con Adventure Report, where he goes to conventions every week here in Northern California and gives us a report on how it went and what ones are to come. So please enjoy Kevin Hogan's report.
Hello, this is Kevin Hogan from Northern California with an episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. On the weekend of October 28th through the 29th, 2023 was the Weekend Blender presented by Die Hard & Sons and The Time Machine over at the Tracy Mall over in Tracy, California. The Weekend Blender, as you may know, is a free Comic-Con that's hosted in the malls in various cities in California. This includes sometimes the Clovis Mall near Fresno in Central California there, and sometimes Citrus Heights up in Northern California, and this time over in Tracy. This is a fun event there. It has the benefits of the free parking just outside the mall there, get the food court there, of course, in the mall there, and they also have the cosplay contest in the afternoon on both days of the event there on Saturday and Sunday there, and it's great there because both the shops, of course, in the mall are open along the outer rims of the mall there, and plus they have the Comic-Con vendors come to the added days that this event is going on, and they line the center aisles down the inner sides of the mall there. That way you get to still see all the different comic books and props, sports memorabilia, and different things on the inside there, just like a normal Comic-Con. So if you ever get a chance to visit the Weekend Blender, it's a really fun thing to check out there. Also on the weekend of October the 28th through the 29th was the Epic Animation Comic Game Festival over in Mountain View. This was kind of set up as a Hollywood red carpet walkway event there, where people got to gather together in their cosplays and walk down the red carpet and take pictures for a gathering there. So it was interesting to see that set up there for people to have fun and get together. On the weekend of October the 29th, 2023, our friends over at Ohana Comic-Con had another one of their fun Comic-Con events, this time on the city of Salinas, California. Ohana Comic-Con, as you know, travels up and down the state of California every weekend, hosting fun events in a different town each weekend. Their events are usually very economical. Admissions usually under $10 per person, with kids 10 and under are free. And there's even a $1 off coupon if you print off the Facebook flyer and bring that with you there. They're often hosted in places with free parking nearby, such as Moose and Elks lodges and other community centers. And when you go inside, you get to see lots of local artists there in their vendor hall there. And if you hang out till the afternoon, usually around 2:30 is their cosplay contest there. So you get to have fun with some local friends and see their fun costumes they made there and win some prizes in their costume contest, which is fun. Also on that same weekend of Sunday, October the 29th, 2023, was the Trunk or Treat event that was hosted at River City Christian Church over in the city of Rancho Cordova. There we saw over 500 families with about over 1,000 people all together come together for some trick-or-treating over there at the church grounds there. They were all lined up in their fun costumes there, where we had dozens and dozens of booths and cars lined up to give out candy out of their vehicles there, including us there at the Sacramento Spider-Verse group there and all in our costumes there. So it was a really nice gathering there for everyone there that wanted to do a safe alternative to regular house-to-house trick-or-treat. And for those of you looking forward to upcoming events there, definitely want to look forward to on Saturday, November 11th, 2023 from 11 to 4 is going to be the Sencha Fall Cosplay Gathering in Santa Clara. And also on that same weekend of November the 11th through the 12th, 2023 is going to be the Salinas Valley Toy Show. That's going to be a free admission event there. And also on that Sunday, November the 12th, 2023, our friends over at Ohana Comic-Con are going to be traveling up to Santa Rosa to host one of their events there. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the pics, and we'll see you out there at the next Comic-Con.
And thank you so much, Kevin Hogan, for your report. Oh gosh, you look so serious, Ark.
Me? I was reading his comment about.
Oh, you're reading it. Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I was like, what? It's me squinting. Yes, thank you so much, Kevin. And that would be a nice feature. There are many cons. There are many to go to. Make sure you are tuning. If you have not had a chance to like, subscribe, please share this with a friend. Let everybody know about this. We are on our way. I made more friends this weekend, so I know our number count is higher. I don't know what we're at right now.
What was it? I looked earlier today. 1537.
37. So plus
you have 63
left. 63 more subscribers till our next Saber giveaway.
Yes. So please share and tell people about our show and the fun, nerdy stuff we chat about. Loni, thank you so much for coming on. You did amazing. You did just fine. No worries there. And don't forget to tune into our other shows. We have Retro Alcove tomorrow. Tuesday is Hearts of Kyber. And Wednesday is Gaming with Aubrey and me. This time I'm not going to feel like crap, I swear. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful week and we'll catch you later.
Thank you guys so much. Love hanging out with you guys. See you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.